I want to, once again, as Pastor Joseph said, that I want to greet people that watch from all over the world. You guys watch literally from all over the world. So we are in Southern California, and it is sunny here. So all my friends that are in parts where it's snowing, just feel the heat of how we're living here. And so we welcome you to Congregation.Family. This is a wonderful church, wonderful community. For all you guys that are starting to come in person, thank you guys for doing that. It just helps, you know. We have so many people that watch online. It's over about 2,000 people that will watch these church services, but to meet in person, you guys, there's nothing like it. So thank you guys for doing that, and let's continue to flow. Father, we thank you so much for our lives. As we often say, we may not be what we want to be, but thank you, God, we're not what we used to be. Lord, I thank you for the presence that I sense here today. Strengthen us, build us, heal us, change us, help our families, protect our nation, protect this world. And everybody said, amen. You may be seated. Okay? I want to just say this about the worship team. To do all that means you got to put all these chords together, all these instruments. To the entire worship team with Callie and the team, can you give them another clap? And I really appreciate it, guys. I really, really appreciate it. To all the volunteers, the camera people, the ushers, the producers, just everybody. The moving parts, guys, we're helping people because you're not on the road with me when I'm walking through airports and people say, I watch the congregation. It kind of shocks me, like people I've never seen in my entire life. I also always love to give honor where honor's due, and that is to my mother. Can you give my mother, Bessie Storey, a big clap? Mom, you're always looking great, man. You have great outfits all the time. Okay, can you please put up a scripture up there? It's Mark chapter 10, verse 46 through 52. The book of Mark, chapter 10, verse 46 through 52. It says, Now they came to Jericho, and he went out of Jericho with his disciples. And a great multitude was there. Blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the road begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. So Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. So Jesus calls him. Then they called the blind man, saying to him, Be of good cheer. Rise, he is calling you. So this is really interesting what's about to take place. So this guy has lived a discount version life, really. His father, Timaeus, the more I've been studying him, was a guy that was known as doing very well in the town. And they don't talk about how many other children that Timaeus had, but one son, it didn't work out the way that it was planned, because the son becomes a beggar. Now at that time, a beggar could literally go to the government and they would get a certificate and they could beg legally. And then they would wear a coat. And it was a certain coat or cloak that said, that is a beggar, and they're allowed to beg. And so they were considered people that would be at a lower income place. Now, as I've been doing a lot of research on this, it was almost in the category of being just a person that just was just going to stay stuck. Like, you're a beggar, just stay a beggar. So people beg for different reasons. It could be deformities. It could be they failed and failed and failed, and it just didn't look like they could do it. Or some type of even mental challenges. But in this case, this man had other challenges, plus he was blind. So it looked like this guy Bartimaeus, was going to just live a restricted life. That maybe he could see the potential of living a better life, not with his physical eyes, but with his imagination. But the reality is he was sitting by the roadside. So what takes place is an opportunity. I want you to say that word, opportunity. There are times in life where it looks like we're going to sit in a setback in our life. So when I life coach people, I say there are 7 basic areas of your life: your spiritual, your mental, your physical, your job, your financial, your family, and your social. You're going to love this today. Just say this. Say spiritual, mental, physical, job, financial, family, social. Now, this guy, blind Bartimaeus, as the story will go on and we'll read, you'll see that if he was taking inventory on his life, like how's he doing? So spiritually, on a scale of 1 to 10, I wonder what he would say. Mentally, on a scale of 1 to 10, I wonder what he would say. Physically, on a scale of 1 to 10, I wonder what he would say. Job, on a scale of 1 to 10, I wonder what he would say. Financially, family, socially, I wonder what he would say on a scale of 1 to 10. So I wonder what you would say on a scale of 1 to 10, how you're doing in all these areas. How are you doing spiritually? How are you doing mentally? When I say mentally, I mean the clarity of your mind and the strength of your mind. How are you doing physically? We just had a pandemic. We're in the middle of a pandemic. How are you doing physically? How's your job going? How are you doing financially? How are you doing with your family? How are you doing in your social life? Now, this man has conflict. He has conflict. So the word conflict means a dispute. Some of you have conflict. You have a dispute in at least one of these 7 areas right now. How good is this? If it's not spiritually, you got conflict maybe mentally. If it's not mentally, you have conflict physically. If it's not physically, could be in your job, could be in your finances, could be in your family, could be in your social life. But in one of these 7 areas, I guarantee you, you have conflict. A dispute, a disagreement, strife, and contention. Wow. Clap your hands if you're learning already. Isn't this good? So every day you wake up, you have conflict. Some of you that are 20, you may wake up and go like, whoa. I guarantee you, go over 50 and you'll go, ow. Ooh. Some of you have conflict of an illness, conflict of a breathing problem, conflict of lupus, conflict of depression, conflict of addiction, conflict of who you woke up next to. Come on, somebody. You have conflict. It's a dispute, it's a disagreement, it's strife, and it's contention. So this guy, blind Bartimaeus, has conflict. So I have found in all my studies that when people have conflict, it always brings changes. It brings changes. A change is an adjustment. It's a development. It's a modification. It's a transition. And I believe that every one of you have changed because of your conflict. Some of you are moody and you didn't used to be moody. Some of you are grouchy and you didn't used to be grouchy. Some of you drink too much and you never used to drink too much. Some of you are not acting like yourself because you had conflict and your conflict brought changes, adjustments, developments, modifications, transition. It brought changes, and not always positive changes. A lot of negative changes happened to some of you guys the last 2 years, roughly, that we've been in this thing called the pandemic of fear. Oh my God, now you're fearful, or you don't trust anybody. Oh, I don't trust, or now we just have to just try to barely get by. That's a long way from believing that you're the head and not the tail, and above and not beneath, and that no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and greater is he that's inside of you than he that's in the world. Somebody clap your hands like God's still big enough. So we all have conflict. I got conflict. If you go down those 7 areas, I got conflict in at least a couple of them. So the conflict's going to bring a change, but it's also going to bring a challenge. A challenge is a problem, an opposition, a dispute. So whenever there's a conflict, there's going to be changes, but there's going to be challenges. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be an opposition. There's going to be a dispute. Let's talk about the dispute. There's going to be an argument in your mind and in your spirit of how you should handle that conflict. Now, if you lose your job, okay, do I just go on unemployment for the rest of my life? Probably not. You're only 23. Okay, so she left you. So should you stay by yourself the rest of your life? Maybe not. You're 29. Come on, it's good teaching, right? Somebody died that you did not expect to die. We don't want that. But, you're 33. What, are you going to just stay stuck in the grieving process your whole life? Somebody lied to you, somebody hurt you, somebody stole from you, somebody injured you, somebody afflicted you, somebody came against you. Why is this happening? Why am I going through so many challenges? Because you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Therefore, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And having done all to stand, keep on standing. You know what I love about people like you? You keep on standing in the midst of challenges. Clap your hands like we keep on standing. But I believe that just because conflict comes and changes come and challenges come, that they don't need to contain us. To contain, watch, is to say, all right, this happened to you. Now this is the area of land that you now have to live in. Now that you're divorced, live in this little area. How good is this? Come on. Now that you're broke, come on, live in this little area right here, right here. Now that you're sick, live in this area. Now that your daughter is giving you trouble, live in this area. Don't have joy, don't have peace, don't feel good about your life, because don't forget your daughter's in trouble. So go ahead and just be contained. Just go ahead and be contained. Go ahead and be contained. See, most people in this world are contained. They're contained. So you could do your own research on this. They're finding out more and more we shouldn't put these goldfish in those little bowls. That's why they only last so long. Come on, somebody. You know how like you'd go to a carnival or something? Like at the Catholic churches, and you go to a carnival and you get a goldfish, and they put it like in a baggie. Come on, people. And then you put him in the bowl, and then after a while he's like on his back. And you think he's sunbathing? No, he went to heaven. Mijo, he's gone. So I was doing this research on this, and I found out that what they're finding is that they're not made to be contained. You were not made to be contained. You're not made to be contained by your past because you went to prison, and sometimes if you're looking for a job and you have to write felon, you're not made to be contained. If you've been through a divorce, I don't want to hear about it all the time. You're not made to be contained. If you were molested as a child, I don't want to hear about it every week. You're not made to be contained. We're not made to be quarantined. We are made, come on somebody, to be liberated. Clap your hands and shout. We're made to be liberated. It's good, right? So this guy, blind Bartimaeus, he is contained. Keep your jacket on, guy. Keep your jacket on. I saw you begging without your jacket. So he's got to make sure his buddies make sure he has his jacket on. Then they got other beggars, and so they got like better beggar areas. Like, hey, this is probably a good corner there. People cross there. So there's some dialogue going on that Jesus is going from one city to the next for Passover, and so they're starting to talk. They're talking amongst themselves, and they're saying, okay, now listen, this is going to be wild. There's going to be like a Jesus sighting going on. Like it's going to be awesome. So there's going to be a Jesus sighting going on, and so they're probably, some of the beggars are probably talking to each other like, this could be like a big moment. Imagine all the people that are going to come for the Jesus sighting. Come on, wave at me like you're catching this, okay? It's like when Greg Laurie does the big thing at the stadium where the Angels play. Like, a lot of people show up. Like when Billy Graham came to Dodger Stadium back in the 40s and 50s. It's like a lot of people. This is going to be a whole Jesus sighting. Like, man, I bet the beggars were going like for the best corner. Are you with me? It's almost like being at the Rose Parade. You get my point? Who's ever been to the Rose Parade in person? And you got to like get your corner. You got to get your corner. Get your seats up there. You got to pay maybe, but you got to get that corner so see those floats come by. So this guy blind Bartimaeus has a father who's not contained. That's even more challenging because somebody in the family made it. So good. See, part of your challenge is you've seen other people make it, and yet you have felt your own containment at times. Woo. Oh, that's my skinny sister. She's probably anorexic. Are you hearing me? Oh, that's my that's my brother. He's a lawyer, does well. He overworks. I think he cheats on his wife, probably. No, hear me out. Because we see other people that are not contained. So this guy's got to be dealing with this in his mind all the time. He's got a dad that is not contained, but he's got a dad that's living at a higher level. But just for a second, why don't we flip that? Why don't we see our containment in those 7 areas when it hits, not as something permanent, but as something temporary, that there is a Jesus who performs miracles in some way, somehow, some way, somehow, some way, somehow, he's going to unlock the area that has contained us. Somebody clap your hands and shout. My mom will tell you, she did such a great job in helping us not to be contained, because even though we only had so much money, she found a way to get me Converse tennis shoes. I don't even know how you did that, Mom, but somehow you did it. Somehow you found a way to get me a Schwinn bike. I was like riding with the white people, Mom. I mean, I didn't even know how you did it. I wanted a Schwinn bike, and at first she got me a Huffy and then a Raleigh, and then one day I was riding with the white people. I'm just telling you how it works. You tell your story when you get the mic. But I was riding with the white people, and Mom, you got me a blue Schwinn bike from that place on Santa Gertrudis, the Schwinn bicycle shop that's right before Whittier Boulevard. You got the Schwinn bicycle, and there I was with my Schwinn bicycle. So she would somehow try to find a way to get us stuff, even though she worked at Winchell's, and sometimes she worked a shift and a half at Winchell's Donut Shop. Somehow, some way, she got us through. I don't even know how she got me braces. Look how great my smile is. Look. People always talk about my smile. They're like, you're not that cute, but you got a smile. And look at that. I say, you're not that cute, but look, you got the smile. Because I got braces. I was thinking this the other day for this sermon. I thought, somehow, some way she got me braces. She didn't know I was going to be on TV all over the world. But look at this, look at this. Even Oprah Winfrey said, Tim, you got one of the greatest smiles I've ever seen. Look at even Oprah. Thanks, Mom. Clap your hands if you're learning something. So you're contained, and here's what I find about most people that are contained. They get used to the containment. Once you're minimized like the goldfish, you start getting used to it. I wonder what Dr. Fauci's saying. Come on, somebody. I wonder what so-and-so, how contained am I going to be? How contained? How you're over at the CVS, 6 feet away, 6 feet away, 6 feet away. Come on. Just try flying, because you guys know that I have to fly for a living times. And flying is like, my God, it's like, you take off the mask to drink something, but put it back on. Put it back on. Contain yourself. Contain. More containment. More contain. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you how it works. Contain yourself. Contain yourself. You're too close. You're too close. You're too far. You're too far. Is it too close? Is it too far? Is it you can get it here or you can't get it here? Or if I move this way, what do I have to do? So when you contain yourself, when you minimize yourself, some of you have gotten used to it. But how awesome would it be if there was a God? How awesome would it be if there was a God who could liberate me spiritually, who could liberate me mentally, who could liberate me, come on somebody, physically, who could liberate me in my job, who could liberate me in my finances, who could liberate me in my family, who could liberate me socially. Somebody clap your hands. How awesome would it be? How awesome would it be if there was such a God that I don't have to be little Timmy who's contained. Whew. Can you turn my mic up a little bit? So I was recently in Marbella, Spain. Most of you guys don't know about this because I didn't want you to know. Because I'm finding this more and more. You don't tell people where you are so they can go rob your house. Like, oh my God, I'm going over here. Yeah, then the robbers go, okay, he's gone. So I was in Marbella. And so I was going to be there for a while. I was life coaching a very well-known company, the second biggest AI company in the world. And I was there working with this company. And so they gave me a choice. I could either stay at a hotel or I could get an Airbnb. And so these really wealthy people they hooked me with this Airbnb, and it was kind of tripped me out because, we used to be very contained when I was a kid. It was me and my brother Randy. We were contained. Are you with me? And then, I used to wear hand-me-downs and we were contained, and the ice cream truck would come by. You only had so much money or didn't have money. I was contained. Are you with me? So I go to Marbella, Spain. And they show me my place where I'm going to stay that's right next to the ocean. And it's 3 levels high. By myself. I mean, it's worth several million. Don't get mad. Not one, several. And I'm by myself. And it's 3 levels high. 3 levels high. And plush. And I had my own swimming pool in this 3-level high condo. I'm like, holla. And my own maid. Come on, somebody. What? It's 3 levels high. So some of you would have got scared, like, oh, it's too big. It's too big. You would have just stayed in your little room all contained. Not me. I slept in all 3 levels. I would take one day on one level, second day on another level. Come on, somebody. Third day on another level. I took showers in all 4 bathrooms. Somebody clap your hands and shout, I ain't po no mo. Don't get mad, I ain't po no mo. I ain't contained. I'm not locked up spiritually, mentally, physically, job-wise, financially, family to stay, socially. Am I conflicted? Am I challenged? Does the devil hate my guts? Do people try to come against me? Yeah, but no weapon formed against you is going to prosper. Somebody clap your hands and shout like you're about to have an opportunity for change. In the midst of his containment, blind Bartimaeus, he had an opportunity. I have an opportunity. I have an opportunity. I have an opportunity. Could you imagine how every seat in this place should be filled? But yet it's not, because people, is menso's not a good word, is it? What would that mean? Yeah, that's my point. So, could you imagine how many mensos are out there that they could hear this teaching live today? They'll come and see me in Las Vegas, where I have 14,800 people. But yet we'll have a church, and they're like, I'll sit this one out. I'm good. Really? When I'm bringing you revelation? When I'm bringing you revelation that's going to get you up and out of any situation? When Pastor Stefan is giving you revelation that's going to get you up and out of any situation? Somebody clap your hands and shout. When Pastor Paige is giving you revelation, when Joseph's giving you revelation, when we're giving you a great worship team, somebody clap like you're catching this. I don't think people want change bad enough. So therefore I called you a menso. I didn't say stupido. I just said menso. So listen to this. But for me, when we were so challenged, Mom, spiritually, mentally, physically, job, financially, family, socially, we got to do something. Ronald Reagan says this: peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict in the right way. See, some of you want the absence of conflict. That's called death. You keep praying for God, give me no conflict. The angel's going to say, you don't even know what you're praying, yo. You're going to die. Because there is conflict on the 5 freeway. There's conflict on the 10 freeway. There's conflict on the 405 freeway. Come on, somebody. There's conflict on the 105 freeway. Come on, people. There is conflict on Whittier Boulevard. There's conflict on Slauson. There's conflict on Imperial Boulevard. There's conflict if you go through the Wendy's drive-thru. There's conflict, come on, somebody, if you go to the Starbucks. There's conflict wherever you go. Wherever you go, there's conflict, but God is bigger than the conflict that you face. So what do I do? In the band, you guys can stay right there for a minute. I'll tell you when you come up. What do you do in the midst of the conflict? You got to do something you never done before to get somewhere you never been before. Look at me. You got to get radical, people. You got to start thinking, I ain't going to be po no more. Come on, somebody. I'm not going to be all broke down. My body's not going to hurt that I'm feeling all funky. I'm only 21. Come on. Spiritually, mentally, physically, job, financially, family, social. You got to do something you never done before to get somewhere you never been before. You got to get to the point where you get courageous. The word courage means bravery. You guys can wait right there. Don't do anything. Don't play anything. Don't just smile. The word courage means bravery. Say it strong. Say bravery. Say daring. Say tenacity. Give me somebody who's brave. JJ, you're brave. That's one reason me and you are friends. You're just going for it. You and your wife and your kids, you guys are just going for it. My own son brought you up the other day. He's like, man, Tim, Dad, JJ, he's doing something. He's got a different voice. He's bringing his family up and out. Well, that's you too, to April too. Give them a big clap. Bravery. Randy, you and Gail, what you're doing is brave. Randy's working on a TV show right now. Gail, you're brave. Thank you for being you. You owned a hotel. You've done all these things. You help our church. That's brave. I can't go through every one of you because all of you are awesome. But you got to get brave, and that's what this guy did. And I close with this. Jesus was walking by, and he didn't want to miss the opportunity, so he had to do something kind of wild. So he began to scream, and he said, "Son of David, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me." But I was reading this morning, and it actually meant what he was saying. He was really saying, "Rabbi, I know who you are. Rabbi, I know you have the ability to bring change to every area of my life. Rabbi, you have the ability to bring change." I would never preach with such optimism if God did not have the ability to bring change to all 7 areas of your life. God is going to bring change to all 7 areas of your life. Somebody clap your hands. I'm done preaching. Come on, clap your hands, all you people. Keep on clapping. Come on, God. Help us out. I don't want to be sequestered. I don't want to be kept in a dark room my whole life. I don't want to be locked up in any area of my life. I don't want to be locked up spiritually. I don't want to be locked up mentally. I don't want to be locked up physically. I don't want to be locked up in my job. I don't want to be locked up financially in my family, my social life. Ronald, I'm praying for you right now. Ronald, you were one of our ushers, and something happened to your brain, and you're going through all this stuff right now. Ronald, my mom said you're watching. I'm praying for you, Ronald, because God is such a miracle-working God that Jesus was walking by, and he said, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And the people around him, they said, "He's calling you." Jesus just stopped his pace, and he's calling you. I'm going to try to tell you something. Jesus will single you out. What's your first name again, Miss? Ashley. Jesus will single you out. You may be driving in your car. You may be cleaning the house. And Jesus will single you out and say, "Hey, let's get this going here." They said, "He's calling you." And the Bible says that he took off his coat. In other words, I won't be needing this in a minute, because I'm not going to be begging when he touches me. I won't be begging. See, that's faith. That's courage, JJ. He said, "I won't be using this anymore." JJ, you should have seen that place. It was 3 levels high. I could see the ocean from the first level, the second level, and the third level. I'm like, "Look at little Timmy. Hey." The lady said, "You want me to clean every day? There's only one of you." I said, "Yeah." But I tipped her big. And she kept saying, "Where are you getting all this money?" I said, I make a lot of money. I sell a lot of books." And then I smiled. Don't get mad at me because I sell a lot of books and make a lot of money from secular people for the last 30 years for helping their companies. Somebody clap your hands. You should be happy. Hey, what if I would have called the people that got me the big 3-bedroom, 3-level places? No, it's too big. Don't you have a Motel 2? I don't stay in Motel 2s. I don't even want a Motel 4. Come on, somebody. I don't even want a Motel 5.5 because it's close to Motel 6. Because I serve a God that is able. I have a God that will stop in his tracks and say, hey, you, the guy yelling, what do you want? He says, I want to see. And Jesus said, that's something I do. I help the blind to see, Isaiah 61. What else do you need? You struggling emotionally? Yeah, it's okay. I can handle that too. I comfort all those who mourn. Oh, you've been living a dead life because you didn't live up to what your dad thought you should be? I handle that too. I'll give you beauty instead of ashes. And he exchanged everything at that moment. I call it the great exchange. And it all shifted. I got a text from you the other day, Dog the Bounty Hunter, who watches us. And he said, preacher, thank you for helping change my life. When I met Dog, he was only doing so well. Then the Spirit of God hit you, Dwayne Dog Chapman. And it affected your life and affected Beth's life. I did their wedding on A&E. I did her funeral. And through life, through death, through challenges, I see you, Dwayne Dog Chapman, continue to rise up and believe that God is able. How many believe that we continue to rise up and believe that God is able? Clap your hands real loud. Sing that song. Clap, clap, clap your hands like you got joy.
Hello, it's Tim Storey. I hope you enjoyed the service. If so, subscribe. If not, still subscribe. It's good.